Hello, hello. It's Jennifer from the patio. Happy Monday to you. I know it's another week and hopefully you had a fabulous weekend. I know I did. So, we are making ephemera for one of my junk journals. And so today I found this beautiful songbook with 1950s music in it, and it has the pinks that match my Bubblegum Christmas. And so I'm making that journal right now, and so I thought, you know what, I'm going to use the sheet music. I was really excited about that. And look, see, it says too young, and it matches perfectly. So we today are going to make this fabulous tuxedo pocket and a little card to go in using the sheet music and just having it in the background. This green, this mint green, matches my kit as well. And so I was very excited about that. So I went ahead and made one. And it kind of has a gap here. And I'm okay with that because I kind of like that look, you know, because I put a little like collar variation with the white in the back just to make it pop. And so I really like that look. And then, so we're going to make that today. And then the other thing is I wanted to make like a poodle skirt. But I don't know, the scale is so different because this is a big, and so when I make this, I may bring it up a little bit, but it is to scale as far as the dress is. And so anyway, I don't know, but that's what we're going to make today. So we're going to make this tuxedo and this cute little, I say poodle skirt, but you know, like a 1950s skirt. So that's what we're going to do. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to get, and I used 65 pound on this black tuxedo paper, but today I'm going to use 80 pound. There's not a whole lot of difference in it, but it's going to do fine. And so I was looking at my journal pages, and this is going to fit just nicely. I could bring it up just a hair, but I think it looks good just the way it is. So I'm okay with that. So this is, and let me measure it for us. So I hope you're having a good day already for this, this Manic Monday. Okay, this is 6. It's actually a little bit more than 6. It's 6 by 4 3/4. So it's 6 by 4 3/4. So what we could do is we could make it 6.5 by 5. Because it's just going to bring it over a little bit more to fill the page. Actually, no, I kind of like it where it has a little bit of room because it starts to bubble and bow. So that's good. So we're going to keep it at that. Let me get a little index card and my trusty marker pen so that you guys can have the exact measurements. If I can, there it is. So it's going to be, let's do 4 3/4 by 6.5. We'll take it a little bit taller, okay? And this is going to be for the backing, which is the music paper. So whatever you want to see behind it, that's going to be the same size, 4 3/4 by 6.5. And I'm going to glue this whole piece down, and it's pretty sturdy, so I wasn't worried about that. I'm more worried about the tuxedo part. So, and then the card, this is the tuxedo. And then the tag is going to be, so it'll fit, but because we're going to keep the same, it's a little bit smaller, but I don't want it too tight, so I'm going to keep it exactly the same measurements. And so it is, let's say 4 1/4. We're going to go a little bit smaller just to keep measurements by And I think I went 7, yeah, 7 1/4. Let me go this way. Yeah, 7 1/4. So I went a little bit higher just, okay. So we're going to have to do the tuxedo. So your papers are you're going to measure a black piece at 4 3/4 by 6 1/2. And then whatever backing at 4 3/4 by 6 1/2. And then you're going to need a tag. And I just backed mine with the black paper because that's my theme. So you're going to need a tag, and it can be just paper or whatever it is that you want. But it's going to be 4 1/4 by 7 1/4. Okay, so that's what we're doing. So we are going to get to measuring and doing all of that kind of goodness. Okay, so let's do the 4 3/4 first. 4 3/4 by 6 1/2. Just going to take it up just a hair taller. I think the tedious part of this is making sure that the music sheet is how you want it to look behind the tuxedo. And so when I pull my card out, I want to, actually I think I'm going to use this on my tag. And then I'll just use plain sheet music in the back, because I want him to be prominent. Okay, I'm going to use him on my tag. And then let me see if I have a piece tall enough, because I was cutting music up. I was cutting some music up. Let me see. I don't think I do. Let me just grab a piece real quick here. Huh, Bubba's? Do you want your pillow back? Here you go, Bubba's. Let's get some paper. I was a little frustrated this morning because I really need to redo my craft room because things are not right where I can grab them. I find that I have to get up and walk. That'll be good. To go get certain things, and it kind of impedes my creativity, if you know what I mean. Do you ever get that way? It's like, oh my goodness, I gotta walk all the way over there. But anyway, I just think it's funny. But I just thought that this morning. I was like, I have got to rearrange and get this to where I feel more comfortable. Okay, so I need 6 1/2, and I'm going to go this way. So I need 6 1/2. And the sun keeps going in and out, in and out. It just cannot make up its mind. So I apologize for the lighting. I don't want to turn the upper light on because it just casts shadows, and it just, so... Okay, that's good. And you're not going to see the side, so that really doesn't matter. So let's go this way. And then we're going to do 4 3/4. So it's just exactly the same size. Okay. So before we attach it or do anything, we have to, I'm going to leave this one in the corner. We have to cut this down to as far as we want it to go. But what I did is I just cut it in half. And then I had the 2 pieces, and then I'll show you what I did. So that's how I got the gap here. And I think this was was going to be a little bit bigger. So it may, yeah, it's not going to sit as right. I may have to cut a little bit off in order for it to, because I kind of like that gap in there. I don't know why, but I just, you know, I don't know. I just do. I just like the little gap in between. Okay, so I just cut a sliver off. So when I cut it in half, it's going to give me this little gap right here. So that's 4 3/4 divided by 2. And that's a crazy number. So I'm going to have to get my pencil out. Oh, 4.75 divided by 2 is 2 3/7. to, and, oh, that's just very hard for me. Okay, so I'm going to do this. That's too hard for me. I don't like all those 8ths and all that. So I'm going to just fold it, and then I'll just cut down the seam. Let me make sure this is exactly the way I want it, because it will make a difference. Yeah, and it is not. Okay, so let's see what that does. So I cut down the center. I may have a bigger gap than what I had wanted. No, that's right. Okay, well that's good. Okay, so then what I did is I didn't do any of these foldings until I attached them. So I'm going to do that first. So I'm going to get which side I want to see. I like where it says walk near me. So I'm going to put this on here and make sure that it's lining up right. Yes, and I have just exactly the amount of gap that I wanted. But you don't have to do it that way. If you'd rather put, have yours and you just take your scissors and just cut down the middle, then by all means do that, because that's, that's just as good. I'm just looking at I want to get the straighter edge on the middle more so than the outside. Yeah, okay. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the left-hand side and the bottom. That is all I'm going to do. And I'm going to use Art. I have already been using him this morning, and he was, let's see, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as long as I can put it down right. Okay, so I'm going to do the side and the bottom. And then I'm just going to attach it here to the corner. Then I kind of turn it over to see if I did okay, and I did. There's a little bit of, there. Uh-oh. It needs to look better on this side than the other. Okay, so there's one side. And then this one's going to go over here. Okay, so let me do the bottom. Here we go. And up the side. See if we can make a straight line. Look at us go. Woo! Okay, we did it. And then I'm going to turn it like this so I can see. Okay. Yes, it is. Whoops. It is not exactly where I want it. That's okay. I'm going to glue it again, and then we'll put it back down. Just shows you how strong this glue is, which is good. But it doesn't give you any wiggle room whatsoever. Okay, let me just make sure that I'm not. Because I don't want a way bigger gap than what I had anticipated. Okay, that looks a lot better. Okay, there's just one little spot right here, and I'm just going to go ahead and whack that off. I think it was just fuzzy wuzzies. Okay, so that is glued down on the bottom and the sides. And now I'm going to make my collar. So you decide how far down that you want your collar to go. And so I just kind of was like, oh, this looks good. And so I laid it down like this, and then I kind of got this point, like if I had this right here, and I was like, okay, this line is where I'm going to do it. Then that's what I did. It was like, okay, that's where this fold is going to go. And this I put like towards a marker. Because you want these, we're going to have to wait till it, make sure it's all glued down before I start bending. And yeah, let's give that a minute. This is why I got my new Teflon bone folder, so it wouldn't leave any marks, as I do a lot of black cardstock projects, especially with my folios, because I love the black in the background as a back border. Okay, so let me just put this aside and let's make the bow tie. Okay, so that is simple. All I did, and I think I'm going to make a bigger one. So I'm going to do it to about these 3 dots right here. And then all I did is I folded it in half. And I'm going to see if I need to trim it down any, but I cut it in half. And then I went from the middle out and just went towards the corner. And that's all I did. And then I was like, is that what I want? And I like that. I like that size. And then I cut me just a little strip to go in the middle. Doesn't have to be big. And then I'm going to glue it down in the middle. And then I'll twist it around and put it towards the back. Just to make a cute little bow tie. I'm basically covering up my... But, you know, bow ties have that, you know, it has like a little bump in the middle where it ties in. So I was like, oh, I'll just put one of those in there, and that way it'll cover up my bending it in half. So there's that. I'm going to do that down, and then I'm going to push this one in. The mailman may be coming, so if he does, I'm going to put you on pause. Because Bubba, that's his most exciting thing of the day, is to go for walks with Daddy, go for rides to the recycle, and to bark at the mailman. Or the Amazon guy. And you have to afford him that, you know, because he's in here all day long with me. And so I'm like, okay. And the mailman, he doesn't mind. Okay. Yeah, that'll be good. So that, especially since it's going to be a taller one. Okay, so while we're waiting for that, let's make a tag. So our tag is going to be 4 1/4 by 7 1/4. And I believe for this, I'm gonna use the I'm gonna use him. So I'm gonna cut this first to about a little more than 7, because I can see I want this. I don't want all that white. So that's 7. So let's pull it up. And then we'll go from there. I can always chop off of that a little bit later. Okay. So, and I want to keep this pink part because I'm thinking I may use that. So let me see. This one is So basically I can get him in there and that's about it. Okay, so let me do it so I'm just right at that pink. That way I can keep that. So we have a base. I love to be able to keep these edges because I use those for other things. Let's see, what did I say? The tag is 4 1/4 by 7. So there's the 4. Let's see what we have. Keep that. Okay. And then I want him to be... So I'm going to cut off quite a bit. Let me just cut that white part off right there. Okay, okie dokie, 7 1/2. So there's 7. That's probably 7 1/2. Okay, that's what we got. So that's going to be our tag. So we'll put that aside while that is drying. Need to make sure that dries well. And I noticed with this card that I put it on black and it's not as bright. You see how the black is kind of coming through in the background? So I thought maybe I would just put it on white cardstock. And so I got a piece of white out. And I could use coffee dyed, but the thing is that there's more white in this particular journal. And even though this is a cream, I guess I could use... you know, that on the back. But I think I'm just going to do white. Let me get my skirt out here. Okay, so let me do that. Okay. Get out my UHU glue. They had this on sale during Amazon Prime. And I did not click the buy button. I was buying some other things for my daughter. And, but I was like, oh, really? I need to get some of that glue. Because, you know, we use so much of it. I mean, if you collage or do, you know, like this, you know, just putting, you know, backing your paper, you know, you're going to use a lot. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you, but it's over now. I think last night was the last night you could get their sale. I think it was like $18.74 for a box of them. But, because it's not cheap, as y'all well know. It is not cheap. Uh-oh, how did I get glue on that? Come here, rag. I know I had one. There it is. Thank goodness I have a little bit of wiggle room in here. Just a little bit, though. Ah, don't do that. I had a wrinkle. Because I really wanted his face in there. Okay, it might be a little skewed because I had a glue issue. That's okay. On this channel, we show you what to do when you have a boo-boo, right? If things don't go as planned, which, listen, this is crafting. Sometimes things just do not go as planned as you would like them to. Okay. Yeah, that's a little off. So I'm going to have to make it a little bit smaller, but that's okay. That is okay. Let me get out my trusty scissors. That way I can cut right up to it. I can feel it's not dry. These are Tim Holtz, so they have that coating, so when you use them with sticky substances, you don't have to worry about it sticking to your scissors, which is good. And then I'm going to have to cut this off just a hair. I can see it. And just like that, we have what we need. Okay. I don't know what that is. I don't know what it is, but I will get it off. Okay. We're going to let this dry, and we're going to go back and work on our tuxedo pockets. What you see, Bubba? Okay, so back to where I was saying. What I want to do is I want this corner to come down when I bend it, because this is really the key. Okay, which way's the top? This is, okay. All right. So this is the key. So I want this corner to come down. Let me see how far down that one went. A little past the first one. And that's, I want to do the exact same thing. So I'm going to lift it up, and then I'm just going to pull it towards me so I can see. I don't know why I'm doing it so far out, but I'm just going to do it just like that, right in the middle of that one. And I'm going to pull it in just a little bit because we have to put some backing on it. I know I have glue all over me. Ba-ba-dum. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to do the same on this side. So it's going to, this one's going to come in between like half. That would be cute too, you know, if it bubbled up like that, but in a journal it would eventually okay, there you go. That looks good. Okay, so those are done, and then I'm not going to put my bow tie on yet because I'm going to put the backing on the back. And here's how I did it. I put a piece of paper just, oh no, you know what I got to do first is I have to cut out my little, I don't even know what those are called, but the little notches in a tuxedo. And I eyeballed them, so it just is what it is. How they turned out is how they turned out. So I think I went up one snip, and then I came down the same. Yeah. Okay, so I went up one snip, and then I can't even see because the sun is just not being nice. There. Close enough. I think this one is a little bit bigger. So I think I'll go in just a hair to make it just a little bit bigger. Let me get this on this side. Okay, nothing fancy, just, you know, nothing fancy. And then what I did is I just put my piece of paper right at that little corner because I don't want it to show. So anyway, I put it down like this, and then I just traced. Okay. And then I did the other side. And don't put it all the way down to the bottom because you don't want that to show. That's cutting it kind of close. I don't want it that close to that. Let me do this side. And then you just trace. And you'll see it comes out perfect. And I'm going to put 2 on that. Just so I know this is the one I'm doing first, which is on the right. Okay, let me do this. So then I'm going to get my trusty scissors. And make sure I have a precision. And then I'll use the small ones. Okay, and then all I did was I put it, you know, once you put it in, then I just got out my little tool, and I kind of wanted it to, you know, you're not going to get a whole lot on that side, but I wanted just enough. So that it looks proportioned, but there's not a whole lot sticking out this way. Just a hair. I want it to be like just a hair. And I know I'm being there, and then I just caught it and did the best I could to not move it while I glued it down. And we will see how well I do on that. Okay. And then I just went in with this and just put a little bit extra. And then it just kind of gives it that, you know, just like a little bit of extra on there. And I think it turned out really cute. Okay, and then we just do this other one. And then we can put our bow tie on. So let's cut this. Oh, see, the sun keeps coming in and out, in and out. It has rained for days. I don't know what the deal is. I do not know. And I do not pretend to know what's going on in this crazy world. But there's some craziness going on. And I'm going to, I don't know if there was any markings on that, but I'm just going to, I wasn't even thinking about that. So let me remove these just in case, oops, just in case we do see them. Okay. And then we do the same thing. We just measure, line it up. I just want a little bit at the top. It's not necessary. Yeah, see, that's perfect. I just wanted enough to show a contrast there. It didn't need to be thick. Where's my tool? There it is. And then I'm just going to hold it down, flip that up, and then put some glue on it and hope that it doesn't move. And then I'm just going to squish it down. And there we go. We have a cute little tuxedo look. And then all of this is open, so The only thing that's going to keep it, you know, from doing anything is this piece right here. And so I don't put any glue on the middle. I'm just going to glue the outside. And then I'm just going to plop that down right there in the middle. And there we go. That is really cool. And then let's see where we are on this. And of course this is going to go in like this. And I just think that's going to be so cool. Of course I don't know what that, I'm going to have to get, I have some water here. I'm just going to do a little bit of, yeah, it was just, I think it was my dirty glue hands from working with this black paper. Okay, don't touch it anymore, Jennifer. Okay, it's so funny. This just stuck to my pen, and it's so funny. I bought my husband a magnetic bracelet. He likes to wear the magnetic bracelets. And the other day we were at the restaurant and he lifted his arm up and his silverware was hanging off of his magnetic bracelet. And I'm like, are you trying to thieve the silverware? And he just started laughing. He goes, well, not on purpose. It's just too funny. Okay, so those are all done. And then let's cut the corners on this. And do I want to do a really big thing? Yeah, I kind of think I do. Because it's a big tag. So I'm going to get my, my bigger corner edge so that, and then I just turn it over. If you've never made one of these, a lot of people that are watching are seasoned, but there are some that are beginners. But if you've never made one of these, just take an old, this is, I don't even, somebody sent it in the mail, and you just take it and then just take your scissors and do a long one, do a short one, do a little one, you know, do a one that's not, you know, that's more angled, and then there you go, you have it. I think I have a whole bunch of them in here. Actually, I have this one and this one, and then I have me a Whataburger card waiting, so in case I need it. But they come in handy, especially if you don't have one of those corner punches. Although you can get these on Amazon really cheap. There's 3 in a set. You have your scalloped, you have your rounded, and then you have your little boxed edges. And it's like 11 bucks. It's really not that expensive, but I mean, I know, you know, to some 11 bucks is expensive. So, and I totally understand. There was a long time I couldn't really do a whole lot, and it's just, you know, over time, I like to, you know, as you well know, I love to thrift. And so I find a lot of things thrifting. But this was one of those things that it's like, hey, that's not too bad. And as you well know, I am not going to be inking unless it is like a tag or something. Not a tag like this, but, you know, something that is like a little label or something. Okay, and I think that really speaks for itself. However, we do need to put something here, and I have just, I put on this other tag, I put this, I have these fuzzy, they're fuzzy, and can you see that? They're really cute. But I also have a really cute pink, dark pink, and so let me find that, and then we will put that in there. See, there's the fuzzy pink ones, but I have a darker, is it this one? This is, I like it. Let me pull that out just in case. I like the bigger one, so let's do that. Let me just pull it out and see. I also have some in here that are pink. And I kind of like that one. This one's more red, so I think I'm going to put that one back. Okay, so there's that. And then I have these. And this one's really cool. You know, they're like a large. And honestly, this one's kind of cool too. This really big black one. Oh, I kind of want that pink to stand out. Let me see. I know I've got to have something pinkish that matches that. Okay, nothing in here except for that one, which that one's cool. I like it. And I do have, yes, I think this is the one I'm thinking of. Yes, but see, look how perfect that is. And I think it's a button. It has a button, look. I only have one big one left. Yes, it's a button. But you know what? I'm okay because I love the color. And I think that's going to look good with that. Okay, so that's what we're going to use. That is what I'm going to use. And I'm going to put back the pink one. That way I'll know where it is. Okay, let me put this up. Let me see how far we are, because we may not even, yeah, we're already at 40. So let's finish this tuxedo one, and then we will do the poodle one next time. It just, I don't know why it takes so long just to do one little thing. I know when I'm here working on my own, it does take time, for sure. So I guess maybe I just have expectations of when I'm on film, like it's just supposed to go quickly, but it doesn't, and it just is what it is. So let me put this in here. See that, and that makes that, it has such a great pop right there. That looks so good. But you all know when you're making a journal, it just takes time to make all the ephemera and all of the different pieces and trying to be, you know, creative. But I love that. Love, love, love. And so it's going to be such a great piece to go in. Look, even like right there. What a great little piece to go right there. And it has a bow tie and a bow tie. So, okay, well, that is going to be our project today. Sorry we didn't get to the poodle skirt, but we will do that, and maybe I'll come up with another template that is maybe a little bit taller. I don't know, I kind of like that. It's not going to be on the same page as this, but, and then I already cut out I did some little dots, because once I make, you know, I'm going to do this in a pink, and then I'm going to put the dots on it. So I think that'll be fun. But anyway, so that's what we have today. So I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me. I had a great time. I hope you did too. Happy Monday to you. I'll see you Wednesday for Wanderlust Wednesday, where you get to take the journal with you. But you have a great day. And remember, you only know what you know until you know something different. Bye-bye.